This is a public service announcement for white men. It is okay to approach a Latina at the bar.
That part, yep.
It is okay to like a Latina. We are equals. We are pretty people. We are also equal to the blondes at the bar.
Even better.
Even better, maybe. I don't wanna. Perhaps.
Don't quote me on it, but
please, it is okay to approach a Latina at the bar. It is okay.
We will talk to you.
We will talk to you. It is okay. I promise. It is okay. Please approach us. We are all one. We are begging.
We're begging.
We're on our hands and knees. Please approach us.
I'm on my knees.
Like, what the fuck?
This answer from men honestly shocked me. When I asked why they no longer approach women in public, the top response was, why would I risk face-to-face rejection when I can just swipe online? And the way they said it, like, rejection is so horrible, it's not even worth the effort of approaching a woman you find attractive. It makes me wonder, are online dating apps making people afraid of real connection, or just way too comfortable with avoiding it?
I need to crash out for a minute here. Okay, look, I'm not looking my best. I think my hair looks a little greasy. I just came from my son's playoff travel baseball game. I decided afterwards, because it's not my weekend, that I'm just gonna go grab a bite to eat. I don't wanna go sit at home by myself again. That felt depressing, and I was like, I'll just go sit at a bar and have dinner, and who knows, maybe I'll meet someone. No. First of all, there was the bar was at zero. There was no one even there. And then finally, towards the end, a somewhat decent, attractive man comes in. He sits right next to me, looks at me. I could tell, I could feel the vibe that he was interested, but he didn't say one word. Like, the entire time. I sat there, I was kind of, angling my body in that direction, hey, I'm interested. If you want to talk to me, I'll talk to you. I, was playing with my hair a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit, a little flirty. I even had a hat. Putting on my hat just in case I looked too greasy. Anyway, the point is, people say, oh, why do you go on dating apps? You can just meet someone in real life. Can you? Can you, though? Can you actually meet someone in real life? I don't think so. Because you know what? I'm going to say it. Men in real life are pussies. I said what I said. I don't know. The situation, it feels a little hopeless. I'm angling my body towards you. I don't have a ring on. It's a Sunday night. I'm sitting at a bar by myself. I'm flirting with you without saying anything. I can't quite make eye contact because you're next to me. Did I do something wrong? Let me know.
Seeing this perspective makes it make sense why men don't approach women anymore. And the perspective was, women don't like it when you don't consider or care about their consent and comfort and safety in a situation. I talked about two of the tools that women use when they're deducing that you probably don't care about their comfort and safety. Things women do when they realize that you probably don't respect them enough to care when they simply don't want to talk to you. You guys were like, I guess I'll never talk to women again. Bro, you can literally sidestep this entire thing by simply caring about women's perspective. Considering their point of view, their comfort, their safety, and respecting when they simply don't want to talk to you. Respecting that them not feeling comfortable talking to you, them not wanting to talk to you for any reason, is reason enough for you to leave them alone now. If finding out the perspective that women don't like it when you don't care about if they are comfortable, if that makes you not want to talk to us anymore, please do not approach us. But I mean specifically you. The guys who are willing to listen and learn about the perspectives of women and what they might be feeling and actually care about their comfort, their consent, their boundaries, you guys are fine. Check out my playlist for tons of actionable tips on how to do that. But if finding out the perspective that women don't like when you don't care about their comfort and consent makes men not want to approach anymore, then alle freaking luya, goodbye to those men. Like, mission accomplished. Good work, ladies.
Well, you say this, and then we have to look at the fact that women, there's a lot of women out there that aren't concerned for their safety. We talk about all this other nonsense about men needing to care about this and that and all these other things, which a lot of men do. There's a lot of men, as you're speaking like this, that when a woman walks out of the store and they're walking out of the store at the same time, they'll back up and they'll go dilly-dally. They'll go back in the store and look at some other stuff. They'll stop and check their phone. Anything to kind of hang back to make sure that she doesn't feel like somebody's following her. You do the same thing on the sidewalk, the same thing at restaurants, wherever you're coming out of the grocery store, day or night. I'm going to make sure that I'm putting distance between you and I so you don't think that I'm going to come over there and do something weird to you. Also, men don't approach, and once again, men don't approach. They're not approaching is because women keep on saying, I don't feel safe. I feel like he's creepy. When all it really was is she didn't want him to approach. The guys that she wants to approach can do all of that stuff and get away with it. And she doesn't see it as creepy. This is what we continue to deal with. Somebody in the comments was like, you can keep on saying this to the men, but it seems like they're not getting it. No, you can keep on saying this to the women, but it seems like they're not getting it. Y'all keep on saying, well, care about her perspective and her opinion and her safety. If you tell me as a woman, this is the type of man I want, this is what I want the man to do, this is how you approach. If I approach you and I am not your cup of tea, then at the very least, I should get a, well, you know what? I appreciate you coming over here. Thank you, but I'm not interested. And that's it. But what y'all ask for, what modern women ask for is, well, you didn't even buy the lady a drink first. You gonna buy me a drink? You gonna buy me something? You gonna give me something? See, you didn't even give me anything before you came over and you didn't even come over here with a flower or anything. You didn't even offer to do anything. Why should I talk to you? That's why I'm not approaching you. Because y'all always expect something. Y'all always think that your time is worth more than a man's. So yes, there are a lot of men out there that care about a woman's safety. They care about her perspective on things. There's a lot of men out there even now that ask, hey, what do you think about this? Sisters, moms, friends. I know y'all like to think that men don't know how to be friends with women. They'll ask a woman, hey, what do you think about that? And genuinely listen. If you're not giving feelings on it, if you're not letting your emotions cloud your judgment, okay, cool. Yeah, I can do that. Follow her advice and then see if it works. But when you're in your feelings and you're in your emotions, y'all say that stuff and a man goes out there and gets himself in trouble. Man, we're tired of not being approached. Just approach us. Okay. Well, they said, just approach. Hey, how you doing? Or it might be some corny joke that he cracked. He don't know. He don't know you. He don't know what you like. The least you can do is be graceful and kind of laugh along and play along. It's like, oh, no, well, I'm not interested. But I do appreciate you coming over. I want to get back to my set. But like I said, thank you for coming over. I appreciate that. How hard is that?
Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, are you gonna come approach me? Hello, I don't want to be the one to approach you, okay? Because that's not my man's. My man's has, you know, the balls that he has, and he's not afraid to come up to me and say something, say hello. So if you're a man out there, you know, you guys have balls for a reason. Use them. And don't be afraid to approach women because we don't want to do that, you know? This is just a pro tip, okay? Chime in.
So they are so self-conscious about everything they do and say with the opposite sex that they're no longer approaching girls. They're not asking girls out. And I don't know. I guess they're just hiding in their rooms on their PS5s, becoming incels. So don't worry about the digital. Go analog. Look her in the eye. Ask her out. If she says no, That's okay. It wasn't meant to be. And my dad always said, you're never going to dance with a prom queen unless you tap her on the shoulder. So go tap someone's shoulder and then tap that ass.
Women aren't masculine because they want to be. Women are masculine because they have to be. Most men don't approach anymore. They don't initiate plans. They don't even know what they want. So where does that leave her? Having to be the man. Want women to be women again? Then be the man.
Okay, so I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers yesterday, Maya Galore, and she does all things beauty, lifestyle, fashion, that kind of stuff, right? In her vlog, she talked about how she feels the men of this generation are just scared to approach her. Obviously she's successful. She presents herself very classy, very rich, luxury. That's the aesthetic that she has. And she recently went out with her friend. I think they went to some bar to like watch a football game or something, and she noticed so many men were staring at her, but none of them were bold enough to actually come over and approach her or come over and talk. I think the only guy, she said, that was bold enough to do something was like trying to summon her. So he made eye contact, and I think he was like gesturing her to come over, but she doesn't respond to that. But for the girls on here, do y'all relate to that? Do y'all ever feel like men are just afraid to approach you? Men are afraid to actually make a move. It's like, you know, they're staring, but they're just not bold enough to talk to you. And I definitely relate to that, because when I think back on the last, let's say 2-3 years, men just don't approach. And you could say, oh, well, maybe they just don't find you attractive. But like she said, sometimes you see them staring. It's like you see them staring, making constant eye contact with you. But it's like they're just not afraid to. I don't know. What's the cause of that? Are men intimidated? Because again, she does carry herself very rich, very well put together. Are they just intimidated by us? Are they just shy? Do they just lack initiative? Like, do we just have a generation of men that don't take initiative anymore? What's going on?
You know what? I don't like men giving me to-do lists, but, you know, I'll bite. Thunderfoot. Why don't men approach? Why don't men approach? Okay, this is why. It's because of Clarence. He comes out every month and just like annihilates my face. And I'm sorry I had to bring up the elephant in the room, but yeah, Clarence is such a nuisance, and it's just crazy. So there you go. Why men don't approach. Gosh, you don't have to be mean about it, Thunderfoot.
Men don't really approach women that much anymore for a lot of different reasons, I think. But personally, I want to be approached. I would love to meet someone in real life versus online. And as long as it's a respectful approach, I'm always going to be nice. Even if I'm not interested, I'm never going to be rude to the guy. But I think as women, we have to give a signal that we are interested before most men will feel like it's okay to like actually approach you. Personally, I'm not going to approach a man. That's not me, but I will make it clear that I'm interested. I will pretty much give him an open invitation to approach me through eye contact, smiling at him, physically like getting closer to him in whatever vicinity that we're in. And if he doesn't take that invitation, then I would just assume he's taken, or he doesn't have the confidence to come up to me, which just means he's not for me. I'm gonna try harder to meet people in real life.
Your assumption, once again, is incorrect. Back in the day, when women used to do this to men, men would say, this is a surefire way to tell that she likes you. But nowadays, when women decide in the moment, in a blink of an eye, what they do and they don't want, it's hard to tell. This is what men keep saying. I'm not approaching you because it's hard to tell. When they say, I don't want to be labeled as a creep, they're telling you and y'all are not reading the signs. Y'all are not hearing what they're saying. You're not reading between the lines. I'm unsure. I don't know. Well, step up and be a leader and have confidence. Men like to make informed decisions about pretty much everything. It doesn't change when they get a wife. It doesn't change when they're looking for a girl. I'm trying to make an informed decision. If you're looking at me, that looks like you're making eye. Maybe we just saw each other from across the room and we just made eye contact. There's been times that I have not been interested in somebody, and because they're almost in my direct line of fire or in the vicinity, I've made eye contact with them more than once and have not been interested in them. Are you telling me to come approach? I'm not interested in you. You might not be interested in me. We just might not have anywhere to stare. We might have, there might be few other places to look other than pretty much at you. Well, I move closer in the vicinity. Again, just because you're over there, you might be over there for somebody else. These are no longer surefire ways to tell if a woman likes you, to tell if a woman wants to approach. I was actually waiting on her to say what ways she gives as an indication for men to approach. I see where you're coming from, and I like the fact that you actually said something about how you get men to approach you. So kudos to that, right? And I sincerely hope that you're actually telling the truth when you respectfully reject somebody, assuming that they're respectful to you. But most women, they'll be blinking their eyes and fluttering and doing all that other stuff, and the man is like, so do you want to approach or not? Come on, read the signs. And it leads a man to just back up and not approach, because we're going to do this in a relationship too. You're going to be fluttering your eyes and doing all these other things, and I'm not going to be sure about what you're talking about. Then you're going to get upset with me about it. And then I'll be like, I don't know. Maybe just say what you mean next time. Or here's the thing. Come up with a game plan before we get in these situations so we're on the same page. But y'all won't do that. So instead of saying or asking the question, why don't men approach? Maybe come up with a game plan. If you're going to say, why don't men approach? Hey, here's how you approach me in public. So the men that know how to approach or want to approach you, that see you, maybe they approach you to the specification and say, hey, I'm going to try to keep it as real as possible. This is how I would approach me. Now, I want you to do this, and this, right? Come up like, dressed relatively nice. And by relatively nice, I don't mean that you have to have a suit on. But if you have some jeans and a t-shirt on, just make sure the t-shirt ain't got no coffee stain, right? Make sure your hair is brushed, your teeth are brushed. Man, just present yourself, right? Because nobody wants somebody that doesn't take care of themselves. I think that's fair. Really start to instruct men, and not in a condescending tone. Men will take the instruction and say, okay, I'm going to try that. You got a lot of men that say, hey, man, I tried that before, it didn't work. So they're listening to what you're saying, but then they're going out and doing it, and women are calling them creeps. That's what's happening.
As a woman who considers herself average at best and below average, like on a bad day, I don't think it's that crazy for men to say things like, I'm afraid of approaching women. Just be like, based on the fact that approaching is difficult, like you have to put your ego on the line. Somebody could be recording you. Your rejection could get posted, and they could reject you in a really mean way, especially if they're recording you, and you're not aware. But also, it's just hard to know when you're supposed to approach. Like, how are you supposed to know when somebody's open to receiving like that sort of attention? And you might say, oh, with body language, but it's like, are you supposed to look at them first? And how are you supposed to look at them to indicate that that's something that you're trying to do? I feel like it's hard, it's difficult, and it's scary. And those are all reasons why I don't approach men. Like, I think it's just hard. I don't know, but you guys can let me know your thoughts on this.
The other day, just talking about how I feel like men don't really approach women that much in public anymore, and they just approach them online mostly. And I got a lot of interesting comments about that, but one that just kept popping up was, well, if that's what you want, why don't you just approach the men yourself? And I think this is a fair question, because I feel like men think women have a distinct advantage if they approach first, which, I mean, I don't really understand the thought process behind that, but that's fine. Y'all feel how you feel.
That's all the fuck I was saying.
I think the funniest thing about women like getting mad at men saying they don't want to approach is first off, they're nowhere near the paragon of progressivism or egalitarianism they claim to be. You're not in a relationship. No guy is taking you serious right now. All the girls who replied to my last video about men not wanting to approach women, you guys are all single. Like you're not for me. I'm seeing someone. So
this video is absolutely true. Okay, so if you're a little confused, this guy made a video where he was basically saying like men, like if you're complaining that like you want men to approach you, then just go and approach, because like men don't want to approach. And then he got that comment, and I can relate because I've made several videos. Okay, this was one of my most recent videos that a lot of girls had an issue with, where like girls are complaining that men are clearly not prioritizing them in the clubs anymore, because like this girl filmed a video of guys being on platforms, you know, at a bar and being like, oh dude, they're looking for their husbands, and you know, a bunch of gay comments. And all it is that girls get upset when they see that you're not prioritizing them anymore. So then they go and they clearly aren't as progressive as they want to make it seem, because they immediately go to like, that's feminine, that's gay, this. And then what he says is always so true, because you'll always get girls in the comments that the people that are saying this are 99% of the time single. And then they'll say this to me as somebody who's in a happy relationship, and they'll be like, oh, you're gay. And it's like, did you tell my girlfriend that? Oh, then they don't know I have a girlfriend, and they'll be like, oh, well, at least, you know, you can't even find one. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm actually in one. And they're like, but then they don't know what to say. And there's so much online proof of just video after video after video of girls complaining. So many girls having a stance of like, why aren't guys approaching me? If you want to be approached, then all you have to do is make yourself available to be approached, or just say something to somebody. The reality is, since men are typically the ones that are kind of socially conditioned to be the ones that have to go and approach, a man not approaching you is 100% by choice. Because think logically, the same way girls have this sense of like, well, why would I go and approach a man? Because, you know, most of the time, if not some of the times, guys have proven to me that they'll come to me. They'll swipe up on my story, they'll do this. A good looking guy, or a guy who's desirable enough that you would want him to come and do that, like that happens from people. Like in a non-arrogant way, as somebody who's like, I'm not 6 feet tall, I wasn't a multi-millionaire at any of these points, like, you know, I didn't really always have to go and put myself out there. A lot of times girls will do things to show that they're interested in you. So then logically speaking, I was like, well, why would I need to go and approach a girl? Because every single time that a girl has done that, like she's done something to show interest in me. So it's this weird thing where girls will subconsciously admit like, oh, I don't want to do that. Then you cannot complain, because the reality is, if you don't want to do that, a guy who also is used to girls somewhat putting a level of interest and effort in is also going to say, well, why would I go and approach a girl? Because the irony behind like a lot of the girls that make the opposite kind of content, as like me, John Cannon, BRS, Aqua, all these guys, the ironic thing is, all of us, for the most part, BRS just got out of a relationship, are in happy relationships. And then all of the girls that are making these videos are like not finding them. They're just like flexing the dates that they go on and how extravagant they are and the wealth of the men that they go on the dates with. Like, if that's what you want, then I guess, you know, have at it. Because listen, I understand you don't have to sit there walking up to a guy and using a pickup line. But if you start a conversation with a dude and you're good looking, as a girl, you'll be fine. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
Women are going crazy, guys, because they can't figure out why you're not going up to them anymore. Guys' eyes are wide open now, right? They're wide open. And they're starting to say, well, you know what? I used to think it was worth it for me to just put myself out there all the time because, you know, I wanted to take a girl out. But now I'm realizing you got the gold diggers, you got the women who want the free meal, you got the women who expect me to do everything, but in return want to do nothing. You got women who are saying, what do you bring to the table? But when you ask them, they get insulted. You got women who don't. You can't even talk. You talk about, you know, oh, yeah, you had 400 boyfriends before and you slept with all of them. You know, they get defensive. Maybe I just don't need to pursue women right now at all. That's what's happening. And I'm not saying that's good, by the way, because ultimately I'm someone who believes in, you know, men and women complementing each other when men are in their masculine and women are in their feminine and coming together and making a big, beautiful family. But this is the reality that's happening right now. And I understand why. Guys have had enough. So ladies, you want it to change? Instead of making a stupid TikTok video and complaining about it, act different. Act different. Look at your life and say, am I prioritizing stuff that guys don't give a lick about? And then complaining that they don't give a lick about me? Have some self-reflection in the game. Is my attitude shitty? Did I make 4 TikTok videos, ripping on a guy the other day that I went out with, and now other guys are looking at that saying, oh, I'm not getting in line for this one. Self-reflect instead of bitching about it. Oh, well, he doesn't want me because he doesn't appreciate a woman who makes a salary like blah, 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 blah.
So, quick question for the people. Men, women, join in, it don't matter. So my high school reunion was this past weekend, and I was talking to one of my old classmates just about like dating and stuff like that. And she was like, girl, like, you single, da, 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 da. Not like trying to shade me, but she was just saying, because she had just had a baby, her husband was there, beautiful family, so we were talking. And I was telling her I might be open to more kids. So her take is, if you want a baby, let me turn this music down. Sorry, y'all. So her take is, if you want a baby, get you a baby. I said, friend, I'm single. Who I'm having the baby with? So then she's telling me like, well, are you going out? Are you doing things? And I'm like, I am, but men don't approach me. I'm telling you, they don't approach me. So she's looking at me just like anybody else. She doesn't believe me. And I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. So we were all just talking about different reasons why we feel like men don't approach. She was saying, you got to give them something. You got to give them a little eye contact, a little, like, a compliment or something. But I'm like, girl, I'm naturally friendly. I'll give a compliment. That's not even hard for me. I do that all the time. So anyway, my question to everyone is, from the women, what do you all think has been where have you found your successes in being approached? Is there anything that you would say you're doing that might help that situation? I don't know. And then for the guys, if this comes across any man's algorithm or page, what deters you or encourages you to approach a woman? Let's talk in the comments.
I feel like this is the thing about this. Women, a lot of modern women, get to the point to where they want something in life. And then they have to unlock other things to do it. There have been multiple side quests that you would have needed to have done by the time you would have been ready for what you're asking for. And all of it would have just flowed. All of it would have just kind of been smooth. It would have been an easy transition on how to get it and how to do it. Because modern women wait until the absolute last minute. They expect men to clean up and say, hey, I'm ready for it. Come approach me now. I'm looking to be married within the next year. I'm looking to get engaged within the next 6 months. And when you'll know, you'll know. My pastor said, when you'll know, you'll know. God's going to send you somebody, and it's going to be that quick. It's going to be this, and this. Maybe, but all this time, you have not prepared yourself. So you're actually not ready. You're not ready for it. And so now, you not being ready and then wanting this, probably not going to happen. And if you do get it, it's probably not going to work without some intense reflection throughout the process. That's probably what you're going to be running into. And you're going through what most modern women go through. Except that some of these modern women just say, you know what, I'm just going to be a single mom. I can't find a man to my quote-unquote standard. I can't find a man to my quote-unquote liking. I'll just be a single mother. And then they make a terrible decision. Well, I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. But essentially what happened was you wanted what you wanted. You couldn't find a man when you should have been looking for one. You couldn't find a man now. And so now you're rushing things. Now you're trying to get what you want because you feel like, man, my time is running low. I don't know how much longer I got. I want to be at my healthiest. I want to be at my peak. Let me go ahead and find a sperm donor. Let me go ahead and find somebody that's going to give me a baby and I can just separate with them so it ain't going to be no baby daddy drama. Then you go out and have a baby with the wrong person. Problem is, it's a toss-up. If the man doesn't want to be in his life or the child's life, then that's great. But if the man does and the man is crazy, then now you have a problem. And so you spend years trying to get away from that person who you knew was toxic in the first place, but your plan was to try to get away from them. You see how the decisions that you're making in haste and desperation affect your lifestyle? Now, I'm not saying this is the case for everyone. I'm just trying to highlight that when you wait to do things instead of preparing for them, like most modern women do. Now, once again, I want to make clear, you're not going to get everything right. You're not going to do everything in order in succession like you need to. But most modern women are doing things completely and totally out of order, out of line. Just willy-nilly, just doing it. And when it happens, it happens. I'm just vibing. I'm just feeling free. Some things are meant to be planned out. Some things are meant to be intentionally done. Y'all can't vibe your way through life.
Question for the men. Why is it that nowadays men don't tend to approach women in public anymore? I feel like back in the day, 90s, 2000s, it was so common for men to just come up to women and be like, hey, what's your name? Want to grab a drink? And that completely stopped. Why is that?
Men are extremely logical thinkers, which means that the benefits have to outweigh the risks. And today, I'm sorry, ladies, in most cases, the benefits of approaching you do not outweigh the risks. Because men are listening to the ladies, and what they are seeing and hearing is that women do not want to be approached unless it happens to be the type of man that she does want to be approached by. But even in those cases, even if that man is that man, he, in most cases, does not think that he's that man. But even if he thinks that he is that man, he's going to have a very difficult time approaching you unless you make it very obvious or you approach him first. Because if he's wrong, not only does he deal with the rejection, because he can deal with that. I mean, men 20, 30 years ago dealt with it just fine. But the difference today is that women have more of an attitude and they get offended if the man that approaches them isn't the man that they want to be approached by. And simply put, women are mean. They are oftentimes going to label that man as a creep. And even worse, there are video cameras everywhere, which means that if she catches it on camera, if she gets it recorded onto her phone, guess where it's going to end up? On social media. And then that man's worst nightmare has happened because now multiple people think that he's somebody that he's not.
If you're a girl and you never get approached by guys anymore, you're not alone. This is a common occurrence. Men are just not pursuing women in general, in person, over social media, even through anything online for that matter. You're not alone and you need to understand this first. However, if you do really like a guy, giving him the green light of, hey, I find you attractive is not necessarily a bad idea. Because once you give the guy the green light of, I find you attractive, yes, you can pursue me, I'm single, or whatever it may be, ultimately your job is done. That's all you have to do is drop the handkerchief as you're walking in front of the guy. That was an analogy from the 1920s. But you get the point. That is all you have to do. You have to let him know that you're interested so he knows to pursue. Because I think the big problem here is that men in 2025 are genuinely frightened of getting rejected. They don't want to get rejected anymore. So what they do is they kind of play this in between of, oh, should I act like a friend or should I be very direct? Or they just don't even participate in the dating game at all. So when you do give a guy the green light, he's going to build a lot of confidence from that. And on top of that, once you give him that green light, you just get to sit back and watch, see what he does, all the way up until you guys potentially get into a long-term relationship or whatever you may want.
I've been having a hard time dating, and I'm honestly starting to feel a little lonely. Well, that's your fault. You're obviously not putting yourself out there. Oh, no, I am actually. I go to the gym, I go to church, I'm on the apps. It's just people either don't want to be approached or they just don't respond. Well, you're probably being disrespectful or creepy. I don't think that's fair. I mean, the other day I had a second date and I'm the one who decided there wasn't a spark. So you were being too shallow? No, I'm allowed to have standards too. And besides, it's not the only problem with dating. That second date, I took her to dinner and bowling and it cost me $180. That's a week of groceries just to see if we like each other. That's ridiculous. So you were just trying to impress her with money? Nope, absolutely not. It was just bowling and Applebee's. It's just that things cost money and guys are expected to pay. I mean, do you think I should start seeing if they want to go Dutch? Ew, no. If you ask a girl to split the bill, it means you hate her. So let me get this straight. If I approach a woman woman, I'm creepy. But if I only message on apps, I'm antisocial. And if she doesn't like me, I'm a loser. But if I don't like her, I'm an a-hole. If I spend too much on a first date, I'm too flashy. But if I spend too little, I'm a bum. Yes, oh my god, why is this so hard for you to understand? Why are you even asking me about this? It's not a woman's job to provide emotional labor to solve men's problems. Right, you know what? I'm just gonna go talk to someone else. You know what you gotta do, bro? You gotta put these 304s in their place. That sounds crazy. No, don't listen to him. What you have to do is accept that as a man, you suck, and women have a right to hate you because they are queens, and you will always be wrong, and she will always be right, and just let her step all over you. Oh, that's also not it. I feel like it's so hard to get good advice as a man. Women's problems are worse, and men are the cause of all of their own problems anyway. All right, I'm just gonna get a dog.
My friend's drink just got paid for by this guy, and the waitress came over and she was like, oh, those guys paid your bill, this and that, because look at her. Gorgeous, right? And she's sipping her margarita, amazing looking, beautiful. And then the guy came over and he was like, you're so beautiful. He didn't even ask for her number or anything. He just said, you're so beautiful, and walked away, and they left. And he didn't even say hello to me. He did pay for my drink too, but he didn't say hello. And I'm like, what am I, chopped liver? Or maybe it's because she's sitting there looking beautiful, drinking a margarita while I sat here eating hot chocolate like soup with a spoon. At least he paid for it, but this is your sign to drink cocktails at a bar and not order a hot chocolate and look like a fool.
First of all, I think that she gets this all wrong because it does not matter what you're drinking. Like, a man does not care about that. You could be sipping on white milk, and if he's attracted to you, he's going to pursue you and not the lady that's drinking a martini because she looks elegant. Again, this, just like the first video, this is like a woman's view on what a woman would think. And they forget that this is about what men think, right? Because it's the man that is approaching. He's initiating. He's attracted to her friend. He is a gentleman. He makes all the right moves because he pays for both of their drinks. But the friend, because she didn't get the attention, ends up complaining that he didn't say hi to her. I mean, this is like already a high stress situation for a man because he's the one approaching. And so to nitpick the fact that he didn't say hi to her it's a little extreme. The really interesting part is that people watching this video and leaving comments, some of them said that, well, the man dropped the ball, right? Because he didn't end up getting the friend's number, you know, the one that he was attracted to and talking to. But the bottom line is that if a man wants to get your number, like, he's going to get it. Maybe he just wanted a minute of her attention, and that's really it. And we don't know why that is. But the bottom line is that men have standards. They do know what they want. It's not that he dropped the ball. He probably just did exactly what he wanted to do. Or maybe he approached her and at first he was thinking that that's where it was going to lead to, but maybe he decided he wasn't that into her, you know, because it's not all about looks. Like, maybe they were talking and maybe there was just something. Maybe he didn't like her voice. Maybe he didn't like how she wasn't friendly and acted like put off. Like, there's other determining factors, ladies.
Yet another reason why men are electing not to approach, because you can do all of the steps and every single time you're going to get something wrong. And every single time these modern women are going to point out to you the thing that you did wrong. Oh, well, you know, he didn't even say hello to me. Okay, I'll say hello. He didn't even pay for my drink. Okay, I'll pay for your drink. The man paid for your drink, so you wouldn't, hey, pay for both of their drinks is probably what he did. Okay, I got them. Hey, man, I just had to say that you're so beautiful. Oh, you didn't even say hello. You didn't even, okay, I'll acknowledge you next time. Okay, are you happy? I mean, God dog, y'all act like y'all be out there. You know what? Modern women do the same thing. They hold men to a standard that they don't even meet. There are women that go to these clubs, these bars, anywhere you go. They will come up and the man's friend will be sitting right there. His whole group of friends will be sitting right there sometimes when they do approach. They won't say hi to everybody. They don't even follow their own rules, their own guidance. They'll come up with their friends. Oh, hey, we just want to come over and introduce ourselves, giggling and laughing and all that stuff. And at this point, you're all up on the man's arm, and you got to try to turn around and, oh, hey, how you doing? And y'all never said anything to the other person. Y'all never said anything to his friends. Number one. Number two, y'all didn't even buy that man a drink. Y'all didn't even buy that man an appetizer or anything. It's modern women always finding things to complain about that makes men tired, that gets men frustrated, that keeps men thinking about staying home and being single.
A woman made a video saying when she goes to events that it's dominated by women, 70 to 80%. She said, black men, can you give me answers why you don't go? What I'm going to say is satire. It doesn't have anything to do with me. Women can't continue to get on the internet and demonize men and say, when we're out, never approach us ever, and think that that won't happen. Imagine as a man, you were just scrolling on the internet for days, weeks, or whatnot, and then you just came across so many videos of women saying, oh my God, men, leave us alone. Don't talk to us. Don't approach us. When we're out, we just want to have fun with the girls. At some point, they'll say, okay, you got it. Now, with that being said, a lot of interest-based hobbies or communities are always going to cater towards women unless you build them out. For example, I'm launching a spades tournament in Chicago. I've been having so many men like, I'm ready for this, I'm ready to go. A little bit more competitive, a little bit more manly thing to do. Women play spades, please spare me. One of the biggest problems that the internet has allowed everybody to do is to tell on themselves, right? 30, 40 years ago when the internet wasn't prevalent, women might think these things about men in the nightlife or this, that, they're whatever. But now since you can prop your TikTok up and you could say all these things and then it goes viral and then you open the comments, it's 2,000 people. The comments, all women agreeing with you. Okay, you read that and say, okay, I want to approach you when I go out. You have women on the internet saying, when I go out, I'm only using men for drinks. And then you'll have 500 women in the comments agreeing. You'll have women making videos saying that I love being in a section when I don't have to do anything for a man. He could just spend money on me and I can go home. That's just okay, like whatever. Just stop telling on yourself. The event scene is dominated by women because women still, with all of this information that they give about not wanting to be bothered by men, at the same time they want men's attention. All I will ever say is stop telling on yourself on the internet so much, and then maybe some more men will come out. As it pertains to community and clubs, it just has to interest a man. You know, paint and sip might not always interest a man. At 30 years old, the kickball club might not interest a man, right? Spades night though, in Chicago. We'll see y'all soon.
Look, I am not here to offend anyone, so sorry. I was just coming on here to rant, a silly little rant. I had no idea it was going to go as viral as it did. I had like close to 70,000 views. That's wild to me. But now that I have your attention, I guess it seems like there's a larger conversation, a larger theme at play here. And as women, it seems like our role in this is that we've beaten men down so much for approaching us, but at the same time, we want them to approach us. Like, yes, men, do you hear that? We want you to shoot your shot. I mean, obviously read the room, right? Like if we're in the middle of a birthday party or we're hanging out with our kids, like don't approach, right? Or maybe do like something subtle. But like I said in my last video, if a female is sitting alone at a bar on a Sunday and she isn't on her phone, she doesn't have a ring, she keeps looking at you, that's kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. If she's clearly like in at a business event and she's presenting, obviously that's not the time. Like there's obvious cues, right? I feel like I'm actually a little shocked that I have, actually maybe I'm not. Anyway, witty banter goes a really long way. Self-deprecation, top notch. I'm no expert, but I'm just telling you what females like. And to be clear, I feel like I need to address this. I always go up to men. Like, if I see something I like, fuck yeah, I'm going after it. I do. Every time. I didn't expect people to say, oh, you should reach out. I mean, I guess I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. But I've just been running into a string of men who get so excited about what I look like. And then when we go on dates, they're like, they get what they want after a certain period of time. And then it's like, all right, I'm out. And yeah, did I want that in the very beginning of my post-divorce journey? Sure, it had been a while. But now I'm ready. I want a relationship. I'm not trying to like have a revolving door of men. I'm a mom of 2 boys. Like, I don't want that. I want that stability, of somebody adding to my life, not for me to depend on them. I'm perfectly content and happy with myself, as most women are in their 40s. That's the beauty of dating somebody in their 40s. So yeah, I mean, I guess the moral of the story is shoot your shot, respect someone's time. Don't pretend that you're wanting more than you are. And look, dating is figuring that out, right? But just don't play games. Like, I don't know. One last thing that's super important that I forgot, if I still have your attention, confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, what are you doing? I'm not attracted. I mean, I can speak on behalf of a lot of women, but personally, and I'm not talking like cocky, I'm talking like, I'm good. Like, I don't need a woman, but I want you. Like, that's sexy. That's hot. You know, and not clingy, not stage 5 clingy crap. I'm talking like you're balanced. You have your shit together. You know yourself. You have self-worth. You're not anxious. You feel confident in your skin, and you're not already assuming the worst of women, and you're not negative about it. Like, just be yourself and be comfortable in your own skin, and you're not going to overthink approaching a woman. You're either going to do it or you're not. Fuck this Me Too culture. I'm sorry. And that's not to disrespect people who genuinely had things that happen. I'm just talking about like, oh, I can't approach a woman because of Me Too. And look, I get it. And maybe for like Gen Z people, I said what I said. Sorry, I got cut off. Ex-husband was calling me. Anyway, for the moral of the story is just be confident. Don't be afraid to approach, and don't make assumptions. Just don't assume. Half the time women go out, especially by themselves, or just like with one other person or 2, like they want your attention. So don't be afraid to give it. Hope this helps. And this probably should have been like a 4-part series, but anyway, bye.